Da, na, na. Ai. Prontinho. Uma célula de energia para meter para entrar.
Why is this under the hospital? these things?
Tem que ir até aqui ao fundo. Para conseguir entrar por aqui. Hum. Pelo sim, pelo não, eu posso levar as duas coisas. Pois não posso. Uhum. Será que aqui é a direita? Só descanso já vi. Que é isto assim, também não me interessa. Estou confuso. LOL. Ah. Vi que isto está vermelho. Só a pensar bem, fazia todo sentido.
The smell. Eu estou sentido. Ok. What?
Fluid drainage complete. Processing will now begin.
Whoa. Processing. Shit, no! No, no!
Processing complete.
Bom, este é para nós.
It stopped. It finally stopped. Thank God. Last one. Not a free Emily and get out of this place.
Hã? Ah.
Oh, I got in my mouth.
Eu matei-os, não faz sentido.
It's me! It's me! It's Grace! It's Grace! Calm down. Grace? Yeah. We gotta get out of here. Hold on tight. I'm scared.
Só para fazer
Why
para
is
trás.
it so loud? It's gonna be okay. Just don't let go. Come on. Come on. It's just putting you down. Why won't they close? Stay away! Grace? Are you hurt? No. I'm okay. That's good. Good, Emily. What's going on? Hurry! No!
Ah,
Grace? Grace? You okay? Yeah. How about you? You okay? Here, I kept this safe for you. Thank you.
melhor história que muitos filmes.
Let's go.
Isto agora quase que é aconchegante.
Do you maybe want to leave with me? It's not safe here.
Poxa,
Okay. Good. That's good.
vamos ver até onde é que isto vai dar.
We did it. Emily? Are you alright? Emily?
I don't know.
Well, let's just... we need to keep moving, okay? Emily?
Okay.
Oh my god.
Hey! Stay right there!
It's okay. We're not infected.
So you're normal?
I think so.
Thank fuck. Those things still running around.
Who are you?
You don't need to worry about me.
I'm tired.
No.
That your kid?
What's...
This? Old war wound. I can't run away even if I wanted to.
Can you fly this?
Sure can. My bastard boss took the key. You know, I could fly us all out of here. If you go get it for me. It's in there. I'd go myself, but I can't outrun those things, not with this leg.
Are you lying to me?
What? Have you seen the same shit I've seen? Look, lady, we're out of options here. How much
Look.
longer do you think any of us can survive?
Can I go back to my room now?
It's not safe.
Hey, we can help each other. I'll protect her. If you get the key, I'll keep her safe. I promise.
It's a deal. Come on. I got you. Ready? No. Come on. Gotta strap you in. Oh, I'm Grace, by the way. This is Emily.
Harry,
Thank you, Harry.
no problem.
I'll be right back. Please, just let it be in here.
Oh shit, I know what I meant.
revolution with such fervor? What do you hope to achieve with this eternal existence?
We each have our goals. You seek to destroy your target. I seek to reclaim the key. Shall we forego the posturing and begin?
I too have a vision for the future, and your plan is not.
Elden Ring is a huge, sprawling game with tons to see, and while you have to look hard for the regular stuff, there's secrets beyond that. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on Game Ranks, 10 Easter eggs from Elden Ring. Starting off at number 10, the many references to Berserk. The Soul series has always owed a debt of gratitude to Berserk, the incredibly influential manga written by the sadly now deceased Kentaro Miura. So much of the dark fantasy DNA of the series can be drawn back to the 1989 manga, but there are multiple things in this game that seem to be homage to that series. Starting with the most obvious, the Great Sword's design is very similar to the Dragon Slayer sword, the iconic weapon used by Guts in the manga. Another suspiciously similar thing is the armor worn by Malekith, the Black Blade. It looks a lot like the Berserker armor from the titular manga. Of course, one is worn by a Beast Man and the other is worn by Beast Man, but the actual design of the armor is strikingly similar, especially the heavy torso. Any fan of Berserk would have immediately noticed this last one. These practically take items and used to make both of them with a hell of a lot of carrots. In Berserk, they're powerful magical objects connected to the demon world, while the practically pates are just boxes that serve no purpose, but their designs are clearly similar. These are the most obvious similarities, but there are a lot smaller, more subtle nods in the game as well. You could practically make an entire video just comparing stuff in Elden Ring to things from Berserk, but we'll leave it at that for now. At number 9, Patches pushes you off a ledge again. Okay, so Patches is in this game, right? He's a guy that shows up in pretty much all of From's games post Demon Souls, and here he appears at a place called Murkwater Cave and ambushes you when you try to steal his chest. That's all well and good, but one thing everyone remembers about previous Patches encounters is that he'll sneak up behind you and push you down into a pit off of a cliff or something like that, usually someplace unpleasant. So it takes a while for it to finally happen, but there is a classic Patches ambush in this game. It takes all the way until you get to Mount Gelmir, but near the entrance of the area, there's a trail of glowing stones leading up a cliff. If you follow them, a cutscene will play where Patches does the exact same thing he's done in a million other games. He pushes you down a cliff. The area you end up in isn't great, but at least it's pretty easy to escape from compared to previous Patches ambushes in other games. There's even more interactions you can do with Patches if you manage to get up to the Volcano Manor, and he still tries to trick you into getting yourself killed, but at this point he's pretty harmless. The worst part about it is he can't attack anyone in the manor, so he can't even get revenge on this clown. Moving on to number 8, there is a Game of Thrones sword in this game. Obviously, you've probably already heard about this, but we have to mention it here. Probably the most recognizable Easter egg in the game. You find it by killing the boss, Castle Morn. The weapon, the Grafted Blade Greatsword, requires 40 strength to properly wield it, which is not something a lot of people are going to be able to do at that point in the game. But it's a weapon that is worth holding on to, because once you can actually use it, it's really a force to be reckoned with. Also, just look at it. It's crazy looking. One of the big selling points for Elden Ring was the fact that famous author George R.R. Martin helped outline the story of the game. If you're unaware, he's the writer of the Song of Ice and Fire books that the popular television series Game of Thrones is based off of. So it's kind of a big doy that they included an Easter egg that alludes to him. And one of the most iconic things from that show was its version of the Iron Throne, which was a throne literally made out of swords. So while the Grafted Blade Greatsword is just a sword made out of a bunch of little swords rather than, a throne, it still looks pretty similar in design. I don't have any idea how much George R.R. Martin actually did contribute to Elden Ring, but this weapon is still a pretty great homage to maybe the defining image of his work. At number 7, the Moonlight Greatsword returns again. I mean, this is another one we've mentioned before, but it has to be brought up again because if there's one absolutely iconic weapon in the Soul series, it's this one. It's a weapon that was first introduced in the King's Field games all the way back on the PS1, and it's shown up in so many From Software games that it is hard to count. In fact, the only recent one it hasn't appeared in is Sekiro, but getting it in Elden Ring isn't an easy feat. You have to play through the Randy the Witch's quest to completion, which is a massive game-spanning thing that takes you through multiple secret areas, and it's more than a few steps that'll leave you scratching your head wondering, how was I supposed to figure that one out? Even when you do finally get the weapon, which is called the Dark Moon Greatsword here, the requirements may still leave you out in the cold. Even though it's a huge weapon that looks like it would require a lot of strength, it's actually that you need a lot of intelligence to use it, which seems counterintuitive, but that's kind of how it's always been for whatever reason. This is a weapon to get if you're big on, From Software. And even though it can be pretty tough and confusing to do, the Randy quest line is like an awesome way to experience a lot of the biggest secrets the game has to offer. At number 6, the blacksmith calls Roderica Crestfallen. This is a tiny one, but we got to throw it out here. A weirdly specific recurring element in most of these games is you can find a crestfallen character hanging around the hub area. In Demon Souls, it was the crestfallen warrior. In Dark Souls, it was the crestfallen warrior. In Dark Souls 2, it was Salden. And they all have a similar attitude. They're miserable about their situation. They've basically been defeated by life. For whatever reason, the keyword crestfallen keeps appearing. And though it's not used specifically in the game, they do throw out a little Easter egg to fans. On your way to the Stormvale Castle, you can come across this character named Roderica. She definitely fits the mold of all those other characters we've mentioned. She seems to have given up, doesn't care what happens to her. Eventually, whether you intervene or not, she'll show up at the round table hold where attitude doesn't change a whole lot. It's possible to talk to the blacksmith about her, who says that she is crestfallen and can barely swing a blade, revealing that Roderica is Elden Ring's crestfallen warrior. In the reverse to many of those other characters, though, this one doesn't actually succumb to despair. Instead, she manages to get over it and becomes one of the most useful characters in the entire game, and one of the few who never abandons the round table hold, no matter how bad things eventually get. For such a minor character, she actually ends up being one of the most memorable in the game, and her evolution through the story is a big reason why. And number 5 is the return of the Phalanx in Noxtella. One of the common enemies in Noxtella are these annoying silver blobs called silver tears. In their normal state, they aren't really similar to anything, but there's one specific room where these guys ambush you, where they change things up and form shields to attack you with. If you're a longtime Souls fan, then these guys probably look a little familiar. That's because they're clearly modeled after the Phalanx, the very first boss of the first Souls game, Demon Souls. What made that boss unique was how it had a small army of little blobs with shields surrounding its vulnerable core, so to kill it, you had to beat on all these little guys to make it easier to get to the weak spot. It's sort of a recurring thing in these games. The Phalanx could also be found in Dark Souls and the Painted World. In this game, there aren't as many of them by the time you actually face them, and they're not particularly dangerous, but there's no denying these things were probably supposed to look like the Phalanx. There are a bunch of blobs with a big shield. I don't know why they're hidden away in this one random room, but it's a cool little callback for old school fans either way. And number 4, Patches runs away in the Radon fight when you summon him. It's another small but hilarious one. If you manage not to kill Patches at any point after first encountering him, he actually becomes a character you can call on during the big Radon boss fight. If you don't know, this fight takes place in a giant battlefield where there are summoning signs for various warriors dotted all over the place. You can call in characters like Alexander, the Warrior Jar, Blyed, the Half-Wolf, along with a bunch of other helpful characters that can make this boss fight just a little bit more manageable. The one that stands out, though, is Patches. You call him in, but instead of helping you, like, at all Patches does is appear for a few seconds and then immediately turns tail and runs away, like a coward. For most players, that means that you'll activate his summoning sign, attempt to fight the boss, just randomly see this message saying Patches returns to his own world after a few seconds. It's definitely in character, at very least. Just the fact that they put this little joke in such an intense fight at all is pretty funny, but it's such an intense fight that a lot of people may not even notice what's happening. Considering how tough this guy is, Patches probably had the right idea. And number 3 is Giza's Wheel, a weapon right out of Bloodborne, obtained from an invader in the second floor dining hall area outside of Volcano Manor. This weapon may look suspiciously familiar to you if you played Bloodborne. Well, it's not one-to-one. Giza's Wheel looks a hell of a lot like the Whirligig Saw, does it not? Its special move is even the same as the one from Bloodborne, where you can hold out the weapon and use it like a chainsaw. Of course, the Elden Ring version doesn't have the same transforming abilities that the Bloodborne weapon has, but in its saw state, the resemblance is uncanny. Even the weapon description of Giza's Wheel is similar to the ones from Bloodborne. It says that the design was adopted for use as the iconic weapon wielded by the Iron Virgins, which is a ridiculous name that's reminiscent of the various weapons in Bloodborne, which are said to be designed by different hunter schools, like the Whirligig Saw being used by the Powder Kegs. Like, the Whirligig Saw is just such a weird and memorable weapon. It's cool seeing it return in some form in Elden Ring, and we felt like we really had to say something about that. And number 2, Executioner Smo returns. One of the most infamous boss fights in any Souls game is the Ornstein and Smo fight, and while I haven't noticed Ornstein anywhere, there's definitely a Smo wandering around the world for you to find. Found in Fort Lyed on Mount Galmir, this dude looks exactly the same down to the rotund armor and gigantic weapon. He's got a little bit more of a red color theme going on, but otherwise he's nearly identical. And many of his attacks are the same too. He's got that annoying hammer charge, he does the big butt stomp. It's pretty much just Smo back for revenge. He's got a few new tricks up his sleeve to make the fight even more annoying to deal with, like where he starts spitting fireballs from the top of his head. The guy's actually a new enemy type that can be found sometimes, but every other one in the game has a set of red robes on, while this guy is all armor. He's hardly the only enemy that references another classic Souls character in Elden Ring, but he's definitely one of the most blatant. And finally, at number 1, there's a place with a view that looks just like Ash Lake. Probably one of the most memorable moments for a lot of players of the original Dark Souls is when they manage to find a secret path through the Great Hollow only to end up in this mysterious location called Ash Lake. It's a place that was deep underground, but for some reason was mostly water, and all you could see in the distance were these massive trees that looked like they went on forever. It was a completely alien environment that had almost like mythic feeling to it, like you were at the primordial roots of the world or something. And for whatever reason, it kind of just keeps showing up from games. In Bloodborne, for example, the Hunter's Dream is also a place where these weird pillars that seem to go on forever exist. If you manage to reach the Siofra Underground River in Elden Ring, you know there's some pretty massive underground areas in this game, but it's not until you get to the Eternal City of Nokron that there's a view similar to the one from Ash Lake. You can see it from the Ancestral Woods checkpoint, just head north through the forest area, and look out over the ledge, and there's an eerily similar view of white trees that repeat off into the distance. Now, Elden Ring is a game all about trees. Like, the Erd tree is kind of the central important thing of the game, so the theme makes sense, but what this view actually represents, we don't really know. Might just be a callback and nothing more, but either way, it's a pretty cool surprise for anyone who loved how the Ash Lake looked in the original Dark Souls. And as a bonus for you, some more returning enemies. Like, there's way more class or throwback enemies I noticed, so here's a quick selection of some of the more notable ones. First, the Shade Boss, which is very similar to the classic Demon Souls enemy. It attacks you by paralyzing and then grabbing you with a thing on its head, just like the Mind Flayer from Demon Souls or the Brain Sucker from Bloodborne. Next is the Red Wolf Ragadon, which, I mean, just look at it. It looks exactly like the Grey Wolf Sith. The Red Wolf isn't quite as big and doesn't have a sword in its mouth, but obviously, Red Wolf
Hello, sabes o que está sempre por trás de um gay?
Ok.
Outro gay,
Hum,
percebeste?
sim.
Desculpa, mas foi, eu acho que merecia, tipo, uau, que piada tão boa.
Uau! Paradão!
Que, pi... que piada
És o
tão boa.
cómico mais relevante de Portugal. Já não é Diogo Batata.
Nunca foi comigo a existir. Acabei de ver um vídeo de um cigano a bater num cavalo. Não sei se isto vai dar, mas. Estás.
Olha, não quero que me mandes.
Eu. Estou-te a ligar para te dizer vou buscar a comida.
Não comer.
Até já.
Veja. Tinha que ser.
Something has changed about our friend, hasn't it? But I can't quite put my finger on it.
She's a vampire.
This hungry look in their eyes, the haunted complexion.
do you mean?
She's a vampire.
Something has changed about our friend, hasn't it? But I can't quite put my finger on it.
She's a vampire.
This hungry look in their eyes, the haunted complexion.
Imagina você sentar no balanço e descobrir isso debaixo dele. Fui chamado para fazer essa remoção, fui posicionando os materiais e acompanha comigo como que eu faço. Primeiro fui botando a água para deixar elas pesadas e passo no manuseio. Depois vem a parte mais legal, pegar elas e colocar dentro da caixa. Como vocês podem observar, não tem nada dentro da caixa. Fui fazendo com calma e paciência, tentando o máximo de prestar essas abelhas. Mesmo elas não gostando de serem despejadas dessa forma. Agora, que essas abelhas seria muito perigoso para os moradores ali. Depois de quase remover todas, a parte mais satisfatória que foi elas entrando na caixa sem você fazer muito esforço. A única coisa que eu fiz foi colocar um pouco de abelhas na tampa da caixa e esperar elas entrar. Fui auxiliando elas a entrarem logo porque estava vindo chuva. Em questão de horas, elas ficaram ali. Debaixo do balanço, elas já depositaram um pouco de cera. Fiquei aguardando todas entrarem, assim finalizando mais um resgate com sucesso. Comentem o que vocês fariam nessa situação. E até o próximo vídeo, pessoal. Valeu! Imagina você sentar no balanço e descobrir isso debaixo dele. Fui chamado para fazer essa remoção, fui posicionando os materiais e acompanha comigo como...
I think I'm gonna die, man. Hey, you're not gonna die. We're gonna slow your heart rate down right now with a small electrical shock. We have to warn you though, it's gonna hurt. I don't care, man. Just do it. Okay? You ready? Do it. Sir, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, sorry, I hit the wrong button. Wow, I feel a lot better. Yeah, I don't think I want to do any of this again. I think I'm gonna die, man. Hey, you're not gonna die. We're gonna slow your heart rate down right now with a small electrical shock. We have to warn you though, it's gonna hurt. I don't care, man. Just do it. Okay? You ready?
Daddy! Daddy! Daddy, I got this. I'm knock him dead.
He say something?
Call me Carl.
Some you know they don't talk. Hey, mister, what's that bandage for? What kind of wound? You tell me, or I will kill you. That bandage changed now. What was it? Gunshot. Look, I ask, and you answer. You get bit, maybe scratch, anything like that. No, I got shot. Just let me. Feels cool enough. Come on out when you're able. You shot that man today. Man?
It wasn't a man.
You shot him in the street out front. A man. You didn't glass us. It was a walker. He missed the evening thing was going on. I woke up today in the hospital.
Daddy! Daddy! Daddy, I got this. I'm knock him dead.
He said something?
Call me Carl.
Some you know they don't talk. What is that for? Hold still. 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 Ao invés de você apertar desligar, você pode simplesmente abrir o bloco de notas e digitar shutdown/s/.
Hey guys, is your dad around? Help you? Oh, I'm not sure. I'm looking for Lester Nygaard.
Oh,
we bought that place from him in the fall. You got the idea how I can find it? He's got the shop over in Third Though. Is that Old Monk? Nah, got his own place now with his name on it. Got him? Yeah, yeah. Piece of pie. I got apple and cherry. No good ever came from a piece of cherry pie. I'm in town for not too much time, so I went to look up my old pal Lester Nygaard. Oh, sure, I know Lester. You go by a shop? Oh, first thing, but when you know it, they're closed. Went by the house too, except turns out he's moved. You try calling him? I was kind of hoping to surprise him. Well, I'll tell you what. You leave me your number, I'll make sure Lester gets it next time you come in. But like I said, just asked. Thanks for the pie and the coffee.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, hon.
Supposed to meet a couple fellas from the figure. I'm,
Deputy Solvers.
that's right.
FBI from Fargo.
Should we grab a table?
Hey guys, is your dad around? Help ya? Oh, I'm not sure. I'm looking for Lester Nygaard. Oh, we bought that place from him in the fall. You got the idea?
basically very similar start to the any percent run. We just gotta up our way towards the suit. I'm sure if you've seen a Half-Life speedrun, you've seen this part before, but don't worry, there will be new stuff coming up soon.
I'm very happy you got out of there without bonking into the door, by the way.
Yeah, and you can see we picked up the suit that also enables the kill table at the left then. Basically a hut that's connected to the suit. Same as the health armor and the ammo. But yeah, one very important thing in this run is especially the ammo management. But also a very exciting thing, I think, because contrary to the normal Half-Life run, where you pretty much only use a couple of weapons, we're going to use almost everything we have, apart from snarks. Sorry for all the snark enjoyers, but
if you remember running through the burning streets of Raccoon City, exploring the police station, and taking on the giant alligator, then you grew up playing Resident Evil 2. But which one? Because there were 9 different versions of this game released, and in this video, we're going to compare each of them. There's a lot to get to, so let's get straight into it and begin by setting the baseline. 9 different versions of this game released, and in this video, we're going to compare each of them. There's a lot to get to, so let's get straight into it and begin by setting the baseline with the original version released for the PlayStation 1 in 1998. And one of the most memorable things about this original game is its opening. You see, the first Resident Evil opens slowly and ominously. You're creeping through the mansion, opening doors, and slowly piecing together what happened. On the other hand, Resident Evil 2 starts with a sleek, for its time, FMV cutscene which shows our 2 protagonists meet amongst the zombie outbreak in Raccoon City, and then throws you right into the fire, literally. The outbreak has spread from the confines of the Spencer Mansion into the city, and the developers did everything in their power to make the player feel that large scope. The environments are more detailed, the visuals are more cinematic, and there are way more zombies on screen than RE1 ever had. This really is one of the best video game openings ever as you try to survive.
We just didn't find a useful use for the snark yet.
All right, fragments. Skidoo? We call them skidoo, or various other nonsensical names, maybe. But yeah, they will increase our power throughout the DLC. So Blanks is going to be